and Ken McDonald. When they each finish with their opening statements, they'll be happy to take any questions that you have. And after the question and answer session with these two, as you can see, the entire basketball staff's here, and if you need any of our assistant coaches for anything, they'll be available as well. Go ahead and start with an opening statement from Ross.
Quite a room. Thank you for all showing up today. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Thanks to our fans who are watching online on WKUsports.com. I'm aware that our coaches, our players, our recruits, our staff, our alumni, our fans, our faculty, Hilltopper Nation has been waiting for decisions to be made about the present and future of our men's basketball program. I apologize we didn't have a chance to meet last week, but schedules did not allow. We were trying to win a couple of Sun Belt Conference championships last week. Our program, our university, our fans, our alumni, our students, our staff, and most importantly, our student athletes deserve to have a top-flight program built on a solid foundation of core values. We cannot allow our program to be in this position any longer. WKU ranks third in the NCAA history for conference championships. We're the 8th all-time winningest program. We have long-term and recent success that everyone is proud of. The overall greatness of this program, formulated under Mr. Diddle, speaks for itself. A tremendous infrastructure is in place, and a positive energy resulting from a renewed commitment will get us back on track. Back on track to achieving the results that all of us can be proud of. Back on track to a successful program on and off the court. 1 year ago, last Friday, I sat here as the new athletic director, and I stated my core values in my vision for running the program. And we promoted those over the last 10 months. Student-athlete welfare, academics, integrity, social responsibility, competitiveness, being a part of the community, being a part of the university. Those elements haven't changed, and that vision right now today is focused on men's basketball. And we have to be better on and off the court, as I mentioned. Frankly, this is a very, very unique situation. We would not be here today but for a few unfortunate personal matters, unnecessary ups and downs on and off the court with our roster, particularly this past year, and if we had won more games in 2010-11. To me, that's the bottom line of why we're here. But because of those matters, we had to take a hard look at the program. We had to examine the full body of work under Coach McDonald. So I did that. I reviewed and analyzed Coach McDonald's 3 years as our head basketball coach, and the fundamentals of that review included many things, but I'll list a few. Program identity, team performance, player development, coaching staff, academics, recruiting, organizational and operational culture, and public perception and confidence. Since I arrived, I've met with Coach McDonald on numerous occasions, just like I have with all of our coaches, and we've had many discussions since the season concluded. I think we met 5 different times since last Monday night. I wanted him to know and discuss the state of the program and my assessment of where things stand. I've also had frequent contact with all components of the program and held many, many conversations with alumni, with fans, with faculty, with staff, with students, donors, sponsors, former players, former coaches, current coaches, to talk about the program. I know that our Hilltopper Nation is proud. We are very loyal, we are very passionate, and it's vital that I know the pulse, both negative and positive. I've acknowledged that I was not happy with certain parts of the program, and Ken was aware of those things. But I also knew that we were focused on getting out of this position, and we're doing everything in our power to get us off the decline. As I stated when I got hired, we have the best fans in the country, and that passion is what makes WKU a very special place. I appreciate the feedback and concern and the support that I've received from all of our fans. Moving forward, Ken McDonald will serve as our head coach. I believe that stability in college athletics is a key ingredient to a successful program. You can cite many examples of other universities staying the course and things working out for the best. In my view, 3 years is a short window to judge a program and a young head coach. In addition, I studied the tenure and the hot and cold stretches of the last 10 head coaches since Mr. Diddle roamed the sideline. Short-circuiting another staff at this point in time is not always the right decision. I understand it may also not be the most popular decision, but I can assure you and all of you in this room and watching that I take my role very serious as the athletic director. And I'm confident it's the right decision for WKU and WKU basketball. Dr. Ransdale and our administration support my decision. No one wants to see anyone fail. Nobody. And even though there's been bumps in the roads, there's many positive aspects that I looked at when analyzing Coach McDonald. Coach McDonald, Coach Harper, Coach Brenneman led us to 25-9 just 2 years ago, within a basket of reaching the Sweet 16. They inherited a team that lost 3 key starters and much of the scoring and rebounding from the prior season. Ken has 62 wins in his first 3 years, second only to Coach John Oldham after 3 years. In 2008, 34 coaches were hired to take on new jobs. Only 5 of those coaches have won 60 or more games in those 3 years. Ken McDonald is one of them. Those wins include Louisville, Illinois, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Georgia, to name a few. WKU's 33 wins in Sun Belt Conference play the last 3 years is the most in the league. This past season we were 5-11, but finished 11-5. 2009 team arguably could have done much better than 21-13 if not for Sergio Carush missing 14 games. Orlando Mendez-Valdez, A.J. Slaughter, Stephon Pettigrew went from reserves in 2007-8 to all-conference performers. Jeremy Evans was drafted in the second round of last year's draft. Major recruiting analysts have rated our 2011 class as the best in our history, and our staff beat out some big-time programs for that group of 5. Big East programs, Clemson, Penn State, Iowa, Butler, to name a few. Ken and this staff have been focused on academics, and we have a renewed plan for men's basketball and all of our student athletes with a new academic retention plan that has been implemented and is now moving forward for now and the future. I believe that the core of a recruiting philosophy should be based on 4-year players. Ken and the staff agree with this approach. In fact, they started this plan and this vision several years ago when they started recruiting the class of 2011. And obviously it was cemented by them signing last November. Roster turnover is not just a WKU problem, but a societal problem in college basketball. 2009-10, 367 Division I basketball players transferred. While we're not happy with our roster turnover, it is a societal issue in college basketball. This staff is committed to doing a better job of identification and setting expectations in the recruiting process. I have a lot of confidence in our assistant coaches. We've got 2 head coaches, former head coaches on our bench, in Coach Harper and Coach Brenneman. Alan Edwards is a rising star in college basketball and has a great experience as a former player. Also, it's important to note out from a continuity standpoint, Clem Haskins was 12-16 his 3rd year. He ended up being a pretty darn good coach in college basketball. There's lots of examples that we can point to. In conducting my analysis of Coach McDonald and our program, I reached out to Rick Barnes, Dennis Felton, Orlando Mendez-Valdez, Sergio Carush, and Stephon Pettigrew, among others. All of them spoke to Ken's high-level experience and capability as a basketball coach. A coach who can and has developed players. A coach who knows what good character is all about. A coach who works hard with the right attitude and effort that it takes to achieve at a high level. That is the Ken McDonald that you see here today. He is the coach that has the ability to make it happen because he's been there before. He knows basketball, he knows recruiting, and he knows WKU from his 8 years of service here on the Hill. Ken has shown me a strong resolve and a laser focus, especially recently, and has been very proactive in identifying and admitting to the mistakes that have been made under his watch. He recognizes that it is imperative that his overall management style must improve and we must end the negative trends. Therefore, he has agreed to a revised 4-year contract that returns his salary to $250,000, the same salary when he assumed the head coaching job in April of 2008. He has every opportunity to earn merit-based incentives with team performance, academic performance, and an increase in fan support through a revised bonus structure. Essentially, we're hitting the reset button, and therefore Ken has my full support as our basketball coach. This new contract is obviously subject to Board of Regent approval, and we'll submit it at the first available opportunity. The little things mean a lot in every organization, and we must greatly reduce the distractions and deficiencies that have brought us to this point. The Hilltopper Nation is family, and in order to achieve success, families have to stick together. Tough times and good times. Ken has had a lot of success here at WKU. He acknowledges we have problems that must be corrected, and he has a plan, personally and professionally, to return our program to where it belongs. I ask that our WKU family support our coaches and, most importantly, our student athletes moving forward. Our program will never, ever settle for good when we can be great, but greatness has to be earned. It cannot be given. At this time, I'll turn it over to Coach McDonald for his comments. Thank you.
Well, thank you for all being here. A lot of you were notified this morning about the press conference, and I appreciate you coming in to support this press conference and obviously going forward. I'd like to thank Ross at this point. I'd like to thank President Ransdell at this point. I understand the evaluation process. I've been doing this since professionally since 1994, and so I understand the whole process of evaluating and respect that process. I think sometimes lost in everything is the fact that we are evaluating ourselves all the time as well. We want great things for this program, and I, being the coach and the CEO of the program, obviously it's important that you always look in the mirror and start there in terms of improvement. The fact that we have had talks and we've moved forward, we've worked together and really have fundamentally agreed on a lot of different things that need to improve going forward. So I'd like to thank Ross and President Ransdell, obviously, but I'd also like to apologize to Ross, President Ransdell, the Hilltopper family, alumni, fans, for some of the unfortunate distractions that went on this year. What happened was unacceptable. You know, sometimes you have to ride it out, and this year, a lot of times we felt like we were trying to do the right things, but it seemed like something would come up and cause a distraction, and I apologize for that. I'd also like to apologize if any personal or professional decisions that I have made have served as a distraction for this program and have kept me from being the best coach for our student athletes. And once again, I think it's important to look in the mirror to improve each day going forward. You know, the fact of the matter is, over the last 2 years, I've gone through a divorce, and that has not always been easy on a personal level. And I think that's been hard for some people to get over or look at. And I hope with our fans, and I know friends have been supportive, but I hope our fans can look at that and understand it's not easy to go through, and it's something that I've dealt with, and trying to do the best I can and manage the best I can. I've been fortunate enough to be part of this program for 8 years. I really look at that with great pride. 5 years as an assistant and 3 years as the head coach and the CEO of this basketball program. And I do understand that the fans, the alumni, and our family deserve nothing but the best. The biggest honor of my career has been being named the head coach of this basketball program. I have a great passion for this university. I understand where this program has been. I've been a part of some of the success that this program has had, and I also, from day one, have believed we can even achieve higher success and great accolades going forward. I did not anticipate in my third season some of the things that unfolded this year, some of the distractions, some of the challenges that arose. But once again, we've been forced to deal with it. We tried to deal with it in the best of our ability, and we're trying not to make the same mistakes going forward. I take full responsibility for those disappointments and what went on this year, as I take on responsibility to get this program going back in the right direction to the level that it belongs. Where we are right now is certainly not what we're about, and it's certainly not what I'm about. Ross pointed out some accomplishments that have occurred during my first 3 seasons. I'm very proud of some of the things that the student athletes have achieved along with the staff. I think sometimes lost in some of the negative things that have gone on are the fact that we have had players that developed. We have had winning programs. We have gone to the NCAA tournament. But it just shows you how the negative light can overtake some of the positive things going on. And we're looking to obviously do a lot more positive going forward. I want everyone that is associated with our program to know 2 things going forward. One, I understand the mistakes we've made. 2, I have a plan and the staff that can get this done at a high level and take us in a new direction. I really have a lot of confidence in that to get back on track. I understand academically we have to continue to challenge our student athletes to the best of our ability. We have to make sure that we're recruiting players that understand and come in with the attitude that they really want to be student athletes, that they can be successful at WKU as students first and athletes second. I want kids that understand the pride that they have to have wearing a uniform, that it's a privilege to be on scholarship at WKU, and take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of them. We will continue to strive, as Ross talked about, get better with our academic support program. It's terrific, but you could always get better, and that's been our opinion and our philosophy going forward. We've had our challenges this year, but we're going to continue to make that the best we can for our student athletes going forward. In recruiting, we recognize the importance of recruiting players that are the best fit for WKU. The staff has worked very hard to produce this recent recruiting class. The relationships that have been bonded with the class coming in have been basically anywhere from 3 years or more, which the amount of time that they've put in securing the kind of class that's coming in here is really a testament to their hard work. As Ross said, we recruited a lot of guys for the prospects coming in, and they represent a great combination of character and talent that I know our fan base is going to be excited to watch. I'm also excited about the returning roster and the possibility of their development going forward in blend with this recruiting class. You have to have players in your program that respect the uniform and understand the expectations and the level at WKU for basketball. And I think that's our job to address and make sure we're identifying those types of prospects.